Penis. Oh, good. This is working.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Not using it for so many months, shit just stops working.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a cool Turbo Man figure you got on the shelf back there.
It is.
Unfortunately, mine was water damaged, so I had to take him out of the box.
Yeah, but now you get to play with them. So
Yeah, I don't know if I put batteries in or not. I don't remember. It's just up on the shelf upstairs.
yeah.
I went ahead and started. I wasn't sure how long you were going to be, so I figured I'd just go ahead and start and say hello to people before we jump straight into the show. El Chaco is not going to be joining us in like typical Chaco and I trying to do anything online together fashion.
Yeah.
About 2 hours ago, give or take, yeah, about 4:30. I'm getting home from getting groceries, and he texts me, "It's just started raining." And then about an hour after that, maybe 45 minutes after that, he's like, "Yep, and we just lost power." So he's not going to be able to join us tonight, unfortunately. And also, unfortunately, I have no other time to stream this week. So for mostly good reasons. I did get skinny, and I'm going to be talking about that at the top of the show. I got a package here from a fan. I've got my whole life story to tell. There's no one I want to tell it more with than my best friend Tim. So why don't we jump into this episode? And welcome back to Here's What I Don't Get. From north to south, east to west, the only intercontinental podcast to tackle all of life's toughest issues and the longest consecutively running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday podcast network. I am your host, Tab Burke, coming to you live from the most dangerous city in America and officially an average weight man. And joining me today, all the way from the land of praying hands, my best friend, Tim, the Handlebreaker.
How's it going?
Welcome back, Tim. I thought I could adjust the headrest on this chair. I cannot.
You know what's really funny is when you clip the microphone, it just the sound drops out.
Oh,
so
shit,
you're
right.
You're there howling with no sound going
Dead
out.
silent. Fucking StreamYard. It doesn't clip out on my end.
I know.
I'll record a filler hello and put that in there in for the edit because it did that the last time too.
Just do a long whisper.
Bitches, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're yelling, so it'll be funny.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 353. It's been 3 months since we did this last. November 22nd is the last time we recorded. It's now the official last day of February. Tomorrow is an extra day. It's been a long fucking 3 months, let me tell you. How have you been, Tim?
I've been all right. Man, what was it? Has it been 3? Was it November when last time we did an episode?
Yep.
I took a whole month off of work.
Nice.
Paid time off.
Nice.
Which is just great.
That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing this week. I took this whole week off, and then Monday I got dragged into a whole fucking thing, and so I had part of my vacation time refunded because I was like, if you're gonna fucking bother me on my vacation, Sweet. You can suck my dick and give me the hours back.
Yeah, and then work's been actually pretty slow just because it's the beginning of the year. Not much going on. Not a lot's changed, man. It's I don't know. Life's good. I'm sort of at a point where I'm just cruising.
Yeah. Well, you're taking all that from me because my life sucks ass. Let me tell you. Tim knows a lot of the details of the chaos that has become my life over the last few months. But so one of the biggest things is I've lost 70 pounds since the middle of October. I when I got off the peg leg, I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew how much I weighed because I was going to the doctor, but the beginning of this year, I discovered that I had lost 40 pounds without realizing it. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is a picture of me. This is like 2 days off the peg leg, October 15th. And on the left, on the right, is a picture of me from just like a week or two ago. And I went from somewhere in the 260s down. I'm now at 194. which officially puts my BMI in the average category, no longer the overweight category. I've had to spend $750 on new fucking clothes,
Yeah, that's
and there's still more to go. Like I have 3 pairs of pants that fit, and those are already loose. I just went and spent $200 on undershirts so that I can have undershirts that are the right size.
yeah.
It's like an annoying problem to have, but it is a problem to have. And then also, here's for comparison. This is a picture of me from the last time we streamed, looking pretty fat.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I'm inordinately pleased with myself for that accomplishment. Um, I'm ready to quit my job, which we'll get into in my issue. I've been blowing glass a lot more. I've been working at least 6 hours a week since the beginning of the year, working on my fundamentals and making cool stuff like this glass. Although I made this glass sometime last year, I don't remember when. But yeah, I mean it's not all bad, but there's definitely been trials going on in my life, so that's not entirely fun. But there's a lot. I'm glad to see a lot of people joining us live to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
watch the show. Glad that people got the memo that we're not like we're just unconsecutive now. If you go look at the archive on the website, there's all the seasons are broken out it's broken out by who's hosting, right? And now there's a season 7, and it's just called unconsecutive because we're just going to be popping in and doing these every once in a while. I don't necessarily like regret ending the show or miss it on a week to week basis, but I do
Yeah.
like being able to pop back in and do one of these.
Definitely, definitely.
Um,
You got to get it out somehow.
yeah, especially when you are on the verge of murdering people that are around you on a weekly basis. Uh, someone was asking how do I commission Tab for a glass if he has time for something like that? Send me a private message somewhere, and I will figure out how to make you something and send it to you. I got to make my friend. I've made a Christmas gift for my friend's mom. Um, that was pretty cool.
Oh
That was
yeah,
the
that
first
was
thing that
pretty
I
cool.
got
Yeah.
commissioned for. Yeah, I enjoyed doing that. Uh, last time Tim was in town in December, he got to see me make this glass bonsai tree that's
It was so cool.
it's actually in my office at work. I should have thought about like bringing and showing some of the things that
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
made, but instead they're all just like they're in places. Um, but yeah, um, it's been a really interesting and challenging year. So now we're here doing this.
It's. I mean, it only you would have last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That just the bevy of stuff happening.
yeah, and then this year is off to a wild and rickety start as well.
Yeah.
So we're only 2 months in. I'm really looking forward. So Tim is going to San Diego
San Diego. Yeah.
this weekend. So unfortunately, he's going to have to miss out on a poker night that I'm hosting that our good friend Truckin' and Tuckin's going to come up for, and we're doing a stake off.
Nice.
The poker night is BYOC. Bring your own cards. Bring your own cut. So everyone's going to bring a cut of steak. I'm going to cook them, and then we're going to blind taste it. Well, everyone else is going to blind taste test
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
and decide who has the best. It's going to be me.
I mean, you can spend a lot of money on a piece of steak.
You can. Oh man, I've been like in prepping for this. I've been watching a bunch of videos on steak, and one thing that I never thought of doing that I'm now thinking about. This guy was like, "Oh, just go buy the whole like rib chunk of
The
meat
roast,
from
yeah.
Costco,
And cut your own slices.
and cut your own slices and save yourself like hundreds of dollars." I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be fucking awesome. My friends and I are talking about taking a butchering class in August.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a butcher up here that will do these classes. It's like, I don't know, 2 hours in the middle of the day. They show you how you cut up all the stuff. You get to take home a couple of pounds of meat with it. And it's not that expensive. There's free beer and food while you're butchering this stuff. So that should be
Nice.
pretty fucking cool. I'm looking forward to that. There was one in April, but that one was full. So we have to push back all the way to August. We could do they're doing like hogs, but who fucking wants hog? Want steak. That's why it's great.
I don't know. Hog is pretty good.
Yeah. You
You
saying hog is pretty good?
got to do things to it though.
Yeah.
You got to like grind it up and smoke it and do all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. You can't just eat hog.
I'm
I mean,
not about that.
yeah.
But I got 3 steaks in the contest. I'm bringing a New York strip and a
Okay.
ribeye, seasoned my traditional way. But then I
Yeah.
got a top sirloin, and I have it in a marinade right now. I'm just sitting in a marinade for 48 hours. Should be
See how.
pretty juicy.
Yeah. See how that'll do.
Yeah. But yeah. What else? What else is there? How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was all right. I can't even. It went by so fast that
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you
I
anything. Well, we hung out on Chris. We hung out on Christmas.
Yeah,
Or New
yeah,
Year's. New Year's.
oh yeah, New Year's. We spent New Year's together. That was the start of my life becoming hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah, it was. End of last year was an interesting time. I wish I could elaborate more, but I'm not at liberty to talk about some of these things just
Yeah.
quite yet. Everything will be revealed in time. So
Speaking of steak, I was doing a show in about a month ago now. I did a 3 week show where I actually got to hang out with Truckin' and Tuckin' for 3 weeks. Because our show was where he works.
oh really?
Yeah. So this company, they really like it's all dudes. Like
Mhm.
sometimes we go to do a show for a company and it's a good spread, 70-30,
Mhm.
but this is like 99% dudes, and they like their meat. So every meal we had, they were like making sure like it was like top quality, good quality meat. But it was sort of a convention center. That if anyone has ever gone to a like a business corporate kind of gig, they said they put out this buffet line of whatever the day is, depending on the convention center you're at.
Mhm.
Um, and then we would have a nice dinner, right? And every dinner we had was the same. It was a piece of filet mignon on like mushroom risotto, with like some carrots and maybe some shrimp. So I had filet mignon for 3 weeks in a row.
Mhm. And you didn't get tired of it at all, did you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Never
Except
do.
for except for the game where it's like, they brought our team. It was 5 or 6 of us for dinner. 5 or 6 different trays, and we all played the game of like, okay, who likes well done, who likes medium rare, who likes rare, like cut into the steak and like flip flopping, just throwing steaks around, just
Oh.
like trying to get everyone what they want.
Who likes well done? Get the fuck out.
Unfortunately, in one of those mass steak cooking settings, you're gonna wind up with whatever you get. And
Yeah,
sometimes we got 6 well done steaks.
oh,
It's
I freaking
and it's with a piece of fillet. It's like it's a tragedy.
that is a tragedy. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a cafeteria steak a couple months ago,
Ugh.
and the guy, it was crazy because it's like this cafeteria, but then they had this meat counter, and there are ribeyes in there, and I was like, I'll take one of those ribeyes, not seasoned at all, just fucking thrown on their little grill. It's been on the grill for a couple minutes, and the guy goes, "How do you want this?" Medium rare. And he's like, "Oh, that'll be easy." It came out pretty well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was edible. It's steak,
It's steak.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, are you ready to jump into some issues?
I am.
What is your issue this week, Tim?
My issue is a little bit of a combination of here's what I used to not get and now do, but still don't get. It's a little bit of both. Here's what I do / don't get. Gambling.
Yeah.
I got the privilege of going to the local slots gambling facility.
The slots?
Yeah, I mean there was all sorts of stuff there, but it's mostly slots. It's
Slot
like,
rule.
No, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love a good slot. I think, oh man, that place is 95% slots.
Hmm.
There was a poker room. I saw 2 roulette wheels, a blackjack table, a craps table, and then the whole rest of the building is slots. I
Hmm.
think something like that.
And
And
all
it's and
themed after like whatever property they think will get you to spend the most
oh,
money.
that's one of my favorite parts of it is so you have the low end slots which are uh like it's literally just like called bar 7, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, we spent the absolute limited amount of money we can on this, and we made the most basic slot. It's still got the lever, you know. It's been in there since 1983.
Hmm.
It's a penny slot, and it's called bar 7. It doesn't have any instructions. It's like, you know what's going on. There's
Yeah.
cherries, there's
Put your thing
bars,
in,
there's
pull the
seven.
handle, the coins are gonna come out. Fucking
Yeah,
figure it
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. And then there's like the ones where they're like, it's got like a, they hire someone to draw a little cartoon frog with like a top hat on it, and coins coming out of the top hat, and it's
Hmm.
like, win Mr. Frog's money.
Hmm.
And
Or,
there's like
or
there's a little story about Mr. Frog in the corner.
or it's like a King Tut. It's like win King Tut's treasure.
Yes, yeah, or and even some of the newer flashy ones with all the LEDs and stuff. It's like, Mount Olympus, and it's like boom, lightning crash, and Zeus standing there in HD, and it's like, you shall not take my coin.
And then
And the next,
speaking of lightning crashes, you can go to the live lightning crashes slot.
yes, you absolutely could. I would not. I would not imagine that there isn't one of those, because like every property had there was I saw an NFL themed slot game. I saw Wheel of Fortune had there was the Wheel of Fortune knockoffs, and then actual Wheel of Fortune
Hmm.
slots. There was Dune has this humongous slot machine. The new
The
Dune
new,
movie.
yeah.
Unfortunately, not the old Dune movie. But it's got it's like two giant slot machines connected with a U bridge above you, and a full like LED wall kind of thing going on. I saw a Elvis
Oh, you
slot
gotta have an
machine.
Elvis slot machine.
I saw a John Wayne slot machine. Gosh, what else? Willy Wonka. That one looked brand new.
The '60s Batman series I've seen.
Yeah, there's
Like
just I mean
every
all the
movie property you
properties.
can think of.
I saw
There's
Game of Thrones, which is funny because the Game of Thrones slot machine has a picture of Tyrion Lannister on it, and he's life size.
yeah.
But yeah, so all these slot machines, they're all. I looked for the TNG slot machine. They did not have a TNG slot machine, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So I got some free play money, and then I had a couple 20s in my wallet, and I figured, I'm not gonna go to the ATM. I'm just gonna I'm I'm using what I came here with, and the how they get you is you go to even the penny slot. In the penny slot, it's like, I'm gonna bet 1 cent. It's like, okay, you're betting 1 cent per line, and there's 9 lines on the thing. It's like, oh, so it's a 10-cent bet.
Hmm.
Really, it's not a 1 cent bet; it's a 10-cent bet, because you're not going to get any return on a 1 cent bet. Um, but I think I put a 20 into a machine, my first 20, and I hit bet a couple times, and then it was just zero. It was gone, just like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really bad like that's $20 gone. I mean, I could have used that for lunch tomorrow. That
Yeah.
it was a really bad feeling. It was like I just messed up. It's one of those. I mean, I think we all kind of get that like sinking feeling.
When you
Everyone's
just
had
start
that.
losing money.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you have to, you break something important, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to replace that now.
Yeah.
Um,
The first time I ever played a slot machine, I felt that way, and then I put in $20, like you said. I got it up to like $35, and then I got it. It like just kept getting down, and just
Yeah.
above $20. I was like, I'm done. I can't fucking handle this shit. If I wanted to see money just disappear, I would log into my bank account on the first of the month and just be like, ah, there goes that bill. There goes that
Yep.
bill. There goes that bill. There goes that bill. Ah, bankrupt.
Yeah, I mean, it was yeah, I hit a couple times, you know, a couple dollars here and there, but everything was just like it was just being sapped from me. And eventually I was like, I think I had $20 left in my pocket, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm gonna leave with saying I didn't spend all my money, and I'm good. And then I'm working, you know, and it ends up we're working until about midnight ish, you know, 11:30 midnight, and I'm about to leave, and there's a slot machine right there, and I'm like, well, I have that 120 left over, so I put the 20 in, and it's a machine that seems I don't know why I know why all the machines are like this because they're just, I mean, casinos got to make money, but this machine was, it's one of the ones where, like, you know, they spin and your matches stay, and everything that isn't a match disappears, and new things fall in Tetris style. So it's like you get an extra chance, which seems a lot more fair than the other ones that don't give you that.
That's how they get you.
That is how they get me, because I was like, oh, that's nice. Press bet a couple more times, and then I got 7 free spins, and I just watched the free spins go. You know, it'd spin, it would hit, stuff would disappear, more stuff would drop down. It would hit again, stuff would disappear. It would drop down, it would hit again, and then was my next free spin. So for about 5 good minutes, I watched my free spins just go, just hit, just keep hitting until I got to $100, and I was like, I was just watching it. I wasn't even playing at that point. I wasn't even betting. I said, okay, that's it. I'm gonna cash out,
take my money,
take my money and leave. But you know, the whole time I was there, I was there in the middle of the day. This is during the week. You know, this is a Wednesday, Monday through Friday, middle of the week. People are sitting at this thing, you know, with ashtrays, smoking, and everyone there is, you know, above 50.
Yeah, just
and
burning their fucking retirement.
I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom how they can just sit there and watch it leave.
Yeah, especially because there's got to be like a cell phone game that costs nothing that is the same. Like, boop, boop, boop,
that's the thing, is right. So I was at the casino for 3 weeks doing this show. My phone, and as we all know, our phones listen to us. I've displayed it many times to my coworkers in recent weeks, because we'll be in the workshop like talking it up, and I'll pull up Instagram and like, there's an ad for the thing you just mentioned that I have no interest in and have never searched for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was talking to someone on Saturday night, talking about video games. Like, oh, I've been playing Helldivers with my friend. I've never heard of that. What is it? Kind of told him about it a little bit. And then I think like either Sunday or Monday, we're texting back and forth, and like, oh, look what I was just served in like my social media feed, and it was posted about Helldivers. I'm like, you never would have, like, fucking your cell phone was listening to us.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm scrolling through Instagram, and every ad is an ad for the digital version of half the slot machines I saw at the casino.
Oh yeah,
the exact same things on your phone, but with like 1 million times bonus points. So you're betting every time, you're betting like $2 million. Which I guess which I'm pretty sure it just abstracts it from you.
Oh, it absolutely does. That's why on poker night it's a $10 buy-in, and you're getting $20,000 worth of chips.
Yes.
So each it takes $20 to make a penny, and then you don't feel bad about losing all your money. But also it's a friendly game between friends, as opposed to like, you know, the buy-in is just so that whoever wins, you know, you win. And I think I won last time, and I got like $40.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, cool, I got $40. That was fun.
So the next week we get a little break, and a couple of guys go down to do some gambling, and I'm there, and one of the guys is like, oh, you should try this one, and I'm like, okay, it's got like a butterfly on it. I'm like, sure, and I'm doing some low bets, and this game, if you get 6 or more butterflies on screen, it goes to like a special mode where like it spins a bunch, and the more butterflies you get, the more free spins you get.
Hmm.
So I ended up getting into that mode.
Was this a
And
Reading Rainbow themed slot machine?
it was like a hot fairy lady, is what it was.
I mean, I would describe LeVar Burton that way.
Oh, absolutely. And so I ended up getting into that mode, and it got I don't know 15 free spins, and I ended up like 2.5, like doubling and a half my money, and that's where they get you because it's like, well, I mean, I think I bet twice before I got all those butterflies. Surely I'll get butterflies again.
Nope.
Surely I'll get butterflies again, just like hammering the bet button. Like, surely I'll get it again.
Give me my dopamine. Give it to me.
That's the other thing, right? Is like, you get 6 butterflies and you get to the thing, but 5 and under, you have a chance, right? A lesser and lesser chance. So I'm getting like 5 butterflies, 4 butterflies, 3 butterflies, but it won't give it to me. And it just 0. I was at 0. And that's when I got it. I was like, oh, that's what gambling addiction is.
Yeah. we had a friend that used to go to the casinos pretty regularly, and get done with going to the casino and be like, "Oh, I went to the casino on Friday and I won $5,000." And the first thing out of my mouth every single time was, "How much did you leave with?"
Yeah.
Because you could get up $5,000, but it's whatever you walked out the door. And inevitably the story would be like, "Oh, well, I lost it all." And then it goes, so you didn't win anything.
Yeah.
You just, you didn't get $5,000. You lost $100 or $20, whatever amount you threw away is what the actual transaction amount was. Yeah, crazy stuff. The way that works. I've only gambled a few times. I gambled when we went to Vegas for road rage in Vegas. However long ago that was, and I brought like $400 with me specifically.
You have to do it, but you have to like add it into the budget. Like, here's the $200 I'm going to spend when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm going to throw this money away, and I ended up not even gambling all of that money away because I did not find any enjoyment in it, even though mentally, like, that money had already been burnt in my head.
Yes. Yeah.
And then like the one time I played slots with my dad, and got down to like $20.50 and tabbed out, and I was just like, I'm up 50 cents, I'll take it, because I just like, my brain does not get the reward from money disappearing that way, and which is crazy because like I'll spend money on stupid shit, but at least
absolutely.
then I have or go do a tangible experience. I mean, I fucking went out the other night and bought a $60 glass of whiskey. One glass of whiskey is $60. 18-year-old Macallan aged in sherry oak casks. Fuck yeah, spend $60 on that. But if I were to put $60 into a slot machine and then it was just like, man, you lose, I'd just be like, well, that was a waste of money. And it's weird how that dichotomy works. I mean, I guess that's the difference between alcohol addiction and gambling addiction, and how I can justify those two things separately. I mean, like I just designed a show a couple weeks ago, and I got the check for that show, and then I immediately went and blew $300 on buying new color to go make more glass art.
Yeah.
So I definitely am not like, you should pinch every penny and save all your money, everything's a waste, but just literally burning money is not worth it. Like $60, you can buy a video game and then play that and enjoy it. I have almost 150 hours on Fire Team Elite. I've spent $30 on that, $20 on that game, and that was just so I could buy the DLC packs. Yeah.
Well, here's where another part of my issue is do you remember like 5 years ago when maybe a little less than 5 years ago, but around then, like, loot boxes were the craze, right?
Yes.
Loot boxes were the craze, and then the government was like, you can't have these kids gambling. You got to tell us what's in those boxes, and they're like, well, that defeats the point of the boxes.
You're talking about loot boxes in video games, or the actual like buying of the loot crate.
No, I didn't even think about the loot crate.
I was thinking of the loot crate fad.
No, I mean they started the whole like I mean, I guess that fad is still going on, but with other things
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like digital loot boxes. Um, but I've been pining for that. That I've been pining for them to come back because the problem I had with them is that, or the not the problem I had with them. What I liked about them is that they were free, as opposed to the system we have now, which is the Battle Pass system.
Hmm.
I was playing a lot of Call of Duty last weekend, and they're in their second Battle Pass, which costs $10. So, but it lasts for 2 months
Hmm.
until the next Battle Pass comes out. So I got to pay $10 to then play more Call of Duty and like navigate this map thing to get a bunch of shit I don't want to find the guns that I do want.
Yeah.
As opposed to there was a time in my life when I was working retail and Overwatch was about the only game I played.
Hmm.
It was just the one. It was like that was video games at the time. But that game, like you would play a match and then here you go, here's a loot box. You play a match, here's a loot box. You like do something else and it's like here's 3 loot boxes. They just toss them to you, willy nilly, and it was cool because like you'd go in there and be like didn't get anything I want, but it was free and it cost me nothing. And I enjoyed the game enough to like play it all the time.
You'd be playing it regardless of whether or not the loot box was coming.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Um,
Classic government is like, here's a problem, we're gonna solve it, and then just make the whole thing way worse, the entire economy worse.
yeah.
Where if you just mind you, I hate loot boxes in games too. Like but I mean, I think that there's a point there for them saying, here's what's in it, like so in Fireteam Elite you find like hidden caches and you play on different difficulties and you like unlock guns and weapons and stuff,
Yeah.
but you can go look in the thing and see what you're going to unlock is.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you've unlocked it, you're like, oh cool, I unlocked this gun, onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
It's it's weird. I kind of feel like gambling is going to die with the millennials because we don't have enough disposable wealth to like find the enjoyment. Like I don't know a lot of people in our demographic that in our age range that find this enjoyment in like going to the casino and plopping down $60 in the slot machines, and it's also like this weirdly antisocial thing too, where I know people in my parents' generation who they'll like go to the casino together and then they'll just go park up on next to 2 slot machines and just like hammer their bet button for an hour and a half and drink, I guess. And then it's like, oh yeah, we spent all our money, but it doesn't matter to them because they have a lot of disposable wealth. Whereas, our generation does not.
Yeah.
Millennials have gotcha games. I don't know what gotcha game is.
It's the loot box. It's the modern, loot box, which is just, it's the games where like, it was the one that was on, it looked like Breath of the Wild. I don't remember what it was. It was like anime Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And, they give you a like a token and it's like, I'm going to spend my token to get, that's the one. I'm going to spend my token and it's going to spin the wheel and get me a nice hot waifu.
He was pretending not to know what that was so that he wouldn't.
I played it. I played it when it came out, but it didn't stick.
Yeah, I even like I remember Sleeping Dogs. There was a mini game in that where you would like bet on a cockfight. I think you could bet on cockfights. You could bet on there's like this mahjong game. There was like a mahjong poker game thing, and there was an achievement for the game for you to win like $10,000 in the mahjong game.
Yeah,
but if you lose your money, you just lost your money. And so I just fucking went through like a series of save loads and I would just go, load the game up, drive over to the betting center, bet max bet. And if I won, I would leave and save the game, go back in and play again. And if I lost, I would turn the Xbox off real quick so that the game wouldn't auto save and deduct that money, that currency from my account. And like, You can't do that in real life, unfortunately. You can't
I
like
wish you could.
put your money near the slot machine and hit bet, and then when it loses, be like, ah, no, I gotcha. You can't like push the slot machine over next to a cabinet and agree to the bet, and then exit out of the dialogue real quick and put all your gold in the cabinet, and then go back into the dialogue thing, and it still thinks you have the money, and that's how you get your house in Whiterun for absolutely free. I mean, slot machine. I'm not talking about Skyrim. Yeah, it's. I am not a big not getter at gambling. I love playing poker with my friends. I think that like us getting together for poker nights, and the first half dozen that we did, there was no money on the table. It was only like the last one where I was like, let's do a buy-in and let's have a prize at the end of the night.
But even then, like,
it's $10.
Yeah,
it's basically nothing, and it's more like I'm not so much interested in the poker as I am the fun of doing it.
Yes.
After we had that poker night, so two of the people that came to the last poker night that I hosted are guys that I work with, and then over the summer we took this OSHA 30 class, which for some reason took 40 hours to get through. It's called OSHA 30 because it's a 30-hour course. And the first day was absolutely miserable because you're just sitting there watching this guy on Zoom for fucking 10 hours and listening to these stupid people talk. And so the second week I was like, let's find an online poker platform that we can use and like network play Texas Hold'em or whatever kind of poker. And we can have the poker up and the Zoom and no one will ever know. And so the next 5 sessions of that thing, we were playing poker on the side and, you know, just playing online poker. And there was no stakes or anything. It was just having fun and wasting time. But holy shit, did it make that class more passable. But at the same time, I cannot imagine going to a big poker tournament and playing where there's like real stakes and there's not playing with my friends. Because I'm happy to lose $10 to my friends, but if I had to lose like $200 to some fucking stranger wearing sunglasses over there, I would.
At that point, it feels like a job.
Yeah,
like you're Bond in Casino Royale playing Baccarat for $7 million a hand.
Well, in the book he's playing Baccarat. In the movie he's playing Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you know that it's Baccarat in the book because the books are better. Anyway, yeah. So you understand why people do it. You don't necessarily understand doing it yourself.
I think it was that like it was the. I mean, it's very obvious, but like when you hit and you hit big, it feels good. Mm-hmm. You know, that makes me feel good. Ghost busting doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
But it was that butterfly where I was like, well, I got the butterfly once. Clearly I can get it again.
It's funny how obvious it made it to you that it was cheating. My head's not small. My face has just gotten larger. I've been taking facial enlargement pills. I don't end up like Dick Masterson.
Yeah.
With a too small of a face. Well, that's a great issue, Tim. And I completely agree with you as like it's a do get and that I do understand, but I also don't get it because I don't think I could fall into. I hope I don't fall into that. So that brings us to the middle of our episode, which means it's time for.
This episode is brought to you in part by the Ricada News Network. Definitely not fake news.
Did you bring any news, Tim?
I did pull up some stuff.
Okay.
The guys, you remember how Game of Thrones was like the biggest thing in the world, and then the last season happened.
Yeah, and everyone suddenly
hated it. They just had there was a recent article in Variety that was talking to the showrunners, the guys that were the showrunners of the most popular thing in the world, and then the most hated thing in the world. So the final 2 seasons of Game of Thrones were 13 episodes total. They did that thing, the same thing that I think was Breaking Bad did that.
Breaking Bad did that, yeah, where it was like
called it 2 seasons. Yeah.
No, they called it one. Breaking Bad called it 1 season, but they were a year apart, and it was obviously 2 separate seasons.
Gotcha. Well, apparently the HBO people, the higher execs, the people above them, the original plan was 3 movies to end the
Okay.
show instead of 2 seasons of TV, which I think would probably end up being the same amount of money, anyways. Um, but they said that the network execs shot that idea down because they thought that HBO shouldn't be in theaters.
Oh, because it's home box office.
It's
Not,
home box office, and they're like they were like literally they're like almost like autistic about it. Like it's not movie theater box office. It's home box office. It's like, yeah, but like a lot of people would go spend $20 to go see this cool dragon movie and not $20 a month to go see it. Do you
Yeah.
not understand like how many more people would rather go do that?
You have the most pirated television show on the planet, but if it's in the movie
Yeah.
theater, someone might actually go give you money.
But my favorite thing about this this interview is that AT&T, who owns HBO or Max or whatever it is now, they once asked the showrunners if they could shoot Game of Thrones vertically so it would fit on people's phones.
Dear fucking oh. Why? Why? That is revolting. Revolting.
Yeah.
Our whole language of cinema. What if we changed it because people can't do this?
Yeah.
Can't just rotate their phone 90 degrees to watch a thing. There's even a button. You can just hit the full screen button and it usually like just fills and rotates for you. Wow.
It's incredible. I dread the day that we start having vertical movies.
Oh, it's coming. I think there was a movie that was filmed vertically like in the last few years as like
I'm sure like
balancing the median and changing the
yeah.
expectation, the framing and stuff. Yeah.
But like a big movie though, you know.
They'll have to like bring those curtains in all the way in the movie theater.
Or they just make really you make really
Really tall movie
really
theaters.
deep tall movie theaters.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll happen. They'll be like, we can seat 7 times more people in this theater because the screen's really tall instead of really wide.
It's like, yeah, but I have to take an elevator to my seat.
Well, that's why they serve you the concessions inside the theater so that you're not walking in and out the entire fucking show, which I also hate.
Oh, yeah, people not being able to sit down for 2 hours at a time.
Oh, it's so irritating.
Or not be able to look at their phones for 2 hours at a time.
That is also a thing that is absolutely irritating.
I remember when I saw a movie late last year. I don't remember what it was. Might have been Napoleon. Could have been something else, but the dude right next to me just couldn't stay off his phone. And I had to go over to him. I said, "Hey, turn that off."
Yeah.
Because it was on full bright. It's on full brightness.
It's just inconsiderate. Yeah. I've got one here for you. That was why I was pulling out my phone, and then I got texted 700 times. Have you ever heard of the group Lorona?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The lead singer for Lorona was fired after confessing to dosing a bandmate's protein powder with estrogen in a bid to steal his fiancée.
Yeah.
The Nashville-based Lorona shared the alleged sick scheme on its Instagram last week and said its vocalist Diego put estrogen in the protein powder that he gifted the other members. Diego allegedly admitted to putting estrogen in the protein powder to make Six more feminine so he could try and steal their partner by looking more manly. Lorona said Diego knew the plot while intoxicated through text and posted text to his Instagram story. I was really drunk and told Six, his fiancée, that I was obsessed with her and had a deep hatred for Six and gave Six estrogen to get an edge up on him. That's some wild stuff. That is not a way I would have ever thought about stealing a woman, but I am putting that down in my list of things to do.
It is so nuts, though. I mean, I can't. He had to have been. I mean, I think this guy is clearly crazy, but like, imagine like just his head thought of like.
Well, what's funny is he's not masculine at all. He's like this skinny fuck with a goopy mustache, and it's just like, dude, you need to take a lot more testosterone and start lifting weights. The estrogen is only going to do so much to this guy.
Man, how is that like the first thing you think of? Right? Like,
Yeah,
how
no,
is that first on your list?
That is also a thing.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, the first one that probably wasn't the first on the list. First on his list was probably murder. I mean,
obviously.
then he's like, I can't kill this dude, but I really want Jesse's girl.
Yeah. Rick Springfield did not put that in his song.
No.
I've been cool with the lines. I've been putting estrogen in Jesse's sweet tea.
Well, now he's got to make a 2024 version.
Oh shit! Well, Coheed already did a sequel.
Yeah, I was gonna say now he has to write Jesse's Girl Part 3 because there's already a Part 2.
Yeah. Good luck, Rick. I gave you one lyric. I'd like to be credited on the album cover, please, sir. Do you have any more news?
Yeah, I got a news story that comes to us from our favorite place across the pond. A local man. Where's this from? I hate when they don't immediately tell you where it's happened. Wales. This was in Wales. A local man shopping for paint with his 4-year-old son says he was racially profiled and refused service at a hobbycraft store after staff said he may use the paint for, quote, doing graffiti.
Because he's a black guy?
Because he's black.
Funny.
He said he was there to buy spray paint to make his to color his son's bicycle helmet the colors of his favorite bike rider.
Red, white, and blue, Evel Knievel?
Yeah, hopefully. They said they were only able to buy the supplies after calling a white relative to make the purchase.
Wow. So it's like when you go to the store, and I remember for a while in the early 2000s or the early 2010s, they wouldn't let you buy duct tape if you were under 18.
Really?
Because
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember it because they were like,
well, you used a lot of duct tape when we were young.
Yeah, I was in like a Target or something, and these kids came up to me, and I'm like, I'm 21 or 22, and they're like, oh, excuse me, man, do you think you could buy this duct tape for us? And I was like, excuse me, what? Like this, they won't let us.
Back in my day, we used to do the same thing with beer.
We need to buy this duct tape for like a class project or something. And I was like, I don't care what the story is. They won't sell you duct tape. Why won't they sell you duct tape? And like, well, they said they won't sell it to us unless we're over 18. And I was like, yeah, sure, give me the duct tape. I'll go buy it. So then, I like took the duct tape from them, and I like went up back through the store into the registers, and they like went out the front doors, and I walked out of the thing, and I was like, here's your duct tape, kids. Fucking some wild shit going on there.
Jesus.
But in this case, this was a lot more racist. Oh, that's a good one. Is there any more news?
I hope it doesn't happen to me. That could happen to me any day. I'm going to a hobby craft store to buy some paint to paint some Space Marines, and bam, wind up in jail.
Refuse you service.
Yeah. Oh no, they won't refuse me service. No, they won't.
Why?
I'm getting that paint one way or another.
You shoplifted. They're this big.
Yeah. That's true.
I was buying food coloring today, and I couldn't find it at the first store I went to, so I went to a second store, and I just have this one box of food coloring, and I'm like, I could really just slip this in my pocket and leave. No one's gonna fucking know. But then I ended up buying some other stuff too, so I didn't steal.
I thought about that the other day when I was in I was at a vintage stock last time we were someone was visiting you, and they had like a bin of like buttons, little bitty buttons with logos and stuff on them, but the buttons themselves weren't barcoded.
Yeah,
you have to like take the buttons you want and take them to the cashier, and he has to like, I guess I got to find the button barcode thing.
Yeah,
like you just have an empty, you have a bin full of non-barcoded items. Like that's just asking people to steal them.
That are small and
Yeah.
easily concealed. I could like go through and find some buttons that I like, wander through the store for half an hour, and then just walk out.
Bring a backpack with you and just put them on the backpack and be like, I came in here with these.
Weren't you just shopping for some buttons?
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, do you have any more news?
I got one last one. I gotta ask, because you've switched phone carriers a couple times in the last couple years.
Yes.
I know you recently switched.
Yes.
What did you switch to?
I switched to AT&T. Back to AT&T.
Gotcha. And were you on said AT&T last week?
Yes. When all the internet went down.
Yes, when all the internet went down.
I made a real ass of myself thanks to that.
Did you really? I want to hear that story.
Okay. You tell the news story and I'll tell my story.
Sure. So if people don't know, AT&T, but also like Verizon and a bunch of other, like almost all the internet
all
and
the major
service providers,
carriers, yeah.
They had an outage from it was like 3 a.m. to, I don't know, noon or something that day. So everyone, at work, everyone was like, hey, talking about the outage, and no one could get any emails sent or anything. And, well, AT&T says that, they're going to give affected customers $5 each to compensate for last week's outage.
Yeah, just $5 off your bill.
$5 off your bill within, they said they'll get it within 2 billing cycles. And, but of course, it's AT&T, so there's a bunch of stuff you can't use it for. So it doesn't apply to people with AT&T business accounts, or prepaid service, or Cricket, which is owned by AT&T. So I love that they're like, yeah, we're only giving you $5, and none for you, and none for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you don't have to go log into your AT&T account, update your profile, and then claim your $5 before it'll show up.
Yeah.
So that it was last Thursday that the outage happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so Thursday night I went out and I was talking to this woman, and we were talking about how all of the cell phones were down, and I voiced my opinion on how I had kind of hoped that all internet would go down entirely and then just stay gone so that we could go back to living our lives free of all this technology and
even for a week it would have been great.
And she was like, well, that would be really terrible for me. I work remotely, so I would be out of a job. And I was like, you'll find something else. I just looked like a real douchebag. And I was like, she was a cute redhead too. And I was just like, fuck that up real bad. Should have kept my weird sociopathic want for the fucking technology to disappear quiet when you first meet people, Tab. Save that until you've known them for a week or two before you start talking about that shit.
Your Luddite fantasies.
My fantasy of living in a world without the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, this has been
the Ricada News Network. Definitely not fake news.
Well, that takes care of our legal obligation this week, Tim, but you know what it doesn't take care of?
What?
Saying thank you to all of our fans and listeners who have stuck with us after another 3 months of fucking total radio silence.
It's like any other podcast.
Just like any other podcast, especially one hosted by a fat Italian YouTuber who can't lose any fucking weight to save his life. Not naming names, but maybe should have been here tonight. Tony has a fat shaming channel on his Discord, and I am the only person who's properly fat shaming him. I just go in there and just insult him with every fucking insult and slur I can think of, and I hope it makes him a better person. I think he's lost 6 pounds, so
nice.
He's 10% of the way there. But I would also like to now take this opportunity to open this box that was mysteriously sent to me. The only thing that I was told is that it's not a bomb.
Well, I mean,
so
can you even believe that?
I did take the liberty of slicing the tape right before I sat down. But other than that, I have not opened this.
Surprise, it's anthrax.
Oh, yay, anthrax. It says, hey, Tab, Koof here. I bought you a fun gift. It's original, hailing all the way from the land of the rising sun. Consider it a unique expression of gratitude from me to you and the crew for all of your efforts to put on a great show with the present. Do with the present what thou wilt. As always, thank you all all for not killing yourselves. Coof. P.S. Congrats on your weight loss. I'll buy you a drink at the next meetup to celebrate. All right. So it's a, oh my God. It's a Star Trek waifu.
That's what I thought I saw on the top. You could, oh man, is
It's
that
better than a
supposed to
Funko Pop.
be, yeah? Is that supposed to be like Spock as a hot
It's-
anime
It
lady?
is a Vulcan science officer with the correct rank of Spock. Yeah. That's some funny shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm torn because on the one hand, not a fan of anime.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, am a huge fan of Star Trek.
And you've always had mixed feelings for your sexual predatures towards Spock.
I've always been secretly attracted to Leonard Nimoy, but not Leonard Nimoy as a man.
No,
Leonard
no.
Nimoy, holy shit, they tape these fucking things deep in these boxes. There, now we can see this bitch without any packaging glare. Boy, the sea turtles really hate this stuff.
Weird.
It is very odd.
Very clearly Spock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have made her blonde. You know, could have done a lot of things.
Yeah. That's
Could have been a red shirt.
I don't think that's a regulation length uniform skirt either.
I think
They are very short in the show, but I think they're a little longer than that.
I don't know, man. Troy's worn some weird stuff over the years.
RNN news candidate and Tab's future wife. Oh, and then I got some "thank you for not killing yourself" stickers. I think there's multiples, so I'll send them to you guys.
Awesome.
I have to put this on my computer right after we finish recording. Well, thank you, Koof. There was no room for mason jars. That's some funny shit. Tony from Hack the Movies needs to bring back Tab Jones for another news bit. Yeah, he does. He does need to. I tried to get him to bring that character back for something he did recently, and he didn't do it. Bummer. That was a fun time. Tim's on IMDb thanks to that one as Tim the Handlebreaker.
Yeah, awesome.
Some wild stuff.
Finally.
Well, let's get back to some issues. I've got a big one. This issue is, depending on how you look at it, either 17 or 23, 24 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah.
27 years in the making. Yeah, it's between 17 and 27 years in the making. Here's what I don't get. Theater. I am so fucking done with this industry. And to give you a little background, here's my entire life story. I first got involved in theater when I was like 6 years old. My parents sent me to a day camp at the West Side Y in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that means nothing to anybody listening, but for several summers, I went there every week, you know, Monday through Friday. It was just babysitting. It was a babysitter.
Yeah.
And then one summer, they're like, we're not going to send you to the West Side Y the whole summer. You're going to go for like the beginning of the summer and the end of the summer. But in the middle, we're going to send you to 6 weeks of theater camp at Heller Theater, which is another park in Tulsa that apparently had a little art venue, and they put on shows. And so every week there was a show, and you know, we rehearsed it and all that stuff. And that was my introduction to theater. My first role was as the lead weed in a play called How Does Your Garden Grow? And the fact that I can still remember the song that I sang 27 years later is probably why I'm still in this godforsaken industry. And so from there, like, I kept going to, I'd be sent back to the theater summer camp stuff. And then, you know, my mom and my dad had me audition for some community theater stuff. And in high school, I was in the play my junior year, and they tried to force me to be in the plays my senior year. But at that point, like, I had discovered the technical side of theater. So when I was 16 years old, I guess it was junior year in high school, I became friends with this guy who was, basically the lead technician for the theater as a student. And I started skipping class. I was taking a political science class that was taught by one of the um, state representatives, and
Yeah.
I started skipping his class to go work in the tech theater class. And I don't know how, but somehow I still passed that political science class. The next semester, I swapped over and went to techno theater full time,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. Like it was this synthesis of all of these skills that I had like learned about with my dad and fixing things and building things and little projects I had done with my mom. And I I liked being backstage more than I liked being in front of the stage. And I I don't know, it just clicked. It felt good to do those things. It felt good to be useful and to solve problems and to fix things and to make things.
Mhm.
And it also felt good to not be like talked to about it. Um, and so my junior year, that was the last time that like I acted on stage. And um, I just remember it was this hellacious couple of weeks going through tech, and I, we finished our run, and the cast is supposed to go out in the hallway and talk to people, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this part. I I'm fine being on the stage and doing my stage thing, but like to go have to talk to the people, I don't want to go talk to the people. I don't want to be acknowledged. I just want to fucking like leave. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was an option. Like Neil Peart just fucking fucked right off as soon as his set was done. And had I known that, maybe I would have stayed acting, but I just didn't enjoy that part. And about that same time, I met this man. He was a parent of another actor in one of the shows, and he came in to help us with the set and with some of the like special effects we were doing. And it was like this guy does this full time. This is his job. He's the head carpenter for the opera. He was the head carpenter for the ballet. He was the head carpenter for Styx when they were on tour. Like he's been on tour with shows. He's been all over, and this is his job. And I was like, holy shit, this can be a job. This is some wild stuff. I would love for this to be a job. And so the next year, I was still doing the tech theater thing. I was working at this barbecue restaurant as a manager 3 nights a week. That was my like high school job. And he came in, and I was like, "Hey, that's this other student's dad." And he said, "Yeah, I am that." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if you remember me, but I worked with you on this show. I really enjoy doing that part of the thing. I'd like to continue doing it more, I think." And he was like, "Are you 18?" And I was not 18 at the time. And he said, "All right, here's my phone number. Call me when you turn 18, and we'll get you on the call list with the stagehand union in Tulsa, and we'll get you start working." And so I did that and got on the call list and started working, and then worked my way, into a couple of theaters and hustled my way through to a point where I was like, I need to go to college so that I can like continue this as a career. And I went to 5 years of college. A lot of that was documented on this show.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to Tulsa, and I became the head electrician for the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. And pandemic hit, and started running the stagehand union out there. Now I'm in St. Louis as a technical director. And it's when I was 16 years old, when I was 17 years old, and I knew with absolute certainty in my bones, in my soul, in my heart, that this is the job that I wanted to do. I wanted to work in this industry. I wanted to make theater. I wanted to work backstage, and I wanted to, do shows. And I'm not quite sure, but at some point that stopped being the case, and I stopped being in love with theater, and it became a job, and it became work, and it didn't become my passion, and it didn't fulfill me anymore. And I think it was kind of this very slow process. I didn't just like wake up one morning and it wasn't fulfilling. I think it just like the shows slowly boiled themselves out of me.
Yeah.
And what I'm left with now is kind of this resentment for what my life has become, based entirely on my own choices. Like I don't regret what I did or what I've done or the person that I am. Um, because like and being in theater has defined me as a human being for the better part of 20 years. I mean, really, even going all the way back until I was went from when I was 6, but absolutely, like in my young adulthood and my adulthood, working in theater is as much who I am as I am 6'2" and have blue eyes. Like it's just things that you can't change about yourself. And so I think I talked about it on the show, but a couple of years ago, right before I left Tulsa, I got called back to go do Pippin for my alma mater, the University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I mixed the shit out of that show. Man, I did a great job mixing that show. And my life was so miserable at that time that somehow being back in this place where I was in absolute misery, for 4 years, that felt like a refreshing place to be again. And that planted the seed or started the fire that eventually burnt up into me deciding that I needed to leave Tulsa and move to St. Louis. And so a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, I was asked to come to a different venue than the one I work in full time out here and be a lighting designer for another production of Pippin. And the guy that asked me just on the right day, and so I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll come design this show. And I went and designed it. I did a really great job in my limitations. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a bunch of photos. I posted a bunch of photos in our Discord. I'm really proud of that, what I was able to do with that show. And I think it's my last one because I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can be in this industry anymore. I have grown to hate the people that I work with. And not just like the specific individuals, but the type of people you start to work with more and more.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of politics and a lot of ego and a lot of inability to compromise. And it's weird because my entire education in theater was about how it's this collaborative process and there's give and take and you got to listen and nobody has the right answers.
Yeah.
And then like every step in my career, I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily think that I have the best answers, but I'm just not listened to. And then I'll get proven right. And I'm at a loss as to how that can continue to happen. And I hate that. And I face these people a lot, is that there are people that are insecure with the work that they do. And so their solution is, instead of working harder or doing better things, it's to bring down the people that make them look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone do this to me in college that tried to basically get me expelled from my program. I never talked about it on the show, but it failed. He's a bartender now. I've had a 17-year career in theater. I'm a technical director of a theater. I have never had another job other than this. I bartend too, but I bartend for fun.
Yeah.
That's his full-time gig. And I don't have a problem with bartenders. I just have a problem with that guy. I've got this scenic designer that's trying to cut me down at every fucking step that he can in my current position. And this happened 3 months ago and everyone was like, oh, it's all fixed now. Everything's going to be fine. And I said, no, it's not going to be fine. He's going to find another way. He's going to pick another fight. This is not over. It's never going to be over. It'll never be over. He will never give up because he's never had to face any consequences for these actions. Sure enough, Monday morning, what do I fucking walk into? I stopped into work literally to drop off coffee. I was just dropping stuff off. I was going to drop my stuff off, fucking go hop on the bike and cruise all around town, have a great day. And I walk to my office and my partner is in there on a Zoom with my boss and I'm only hearing one side of it. And I'm like, is that motherfucker coming at about this now? And then I got dragged into the whole deal. I hate that. I really hoped coming out of the pandemic that the industry would start to see that we're working on timetables that are impossible and scales that are impossible and with personnel limitations that are impossible, and that maybe we need to readjust our priorities and reevaluate how to approach these problems so that we can approach them from a people first standpoint, which sounds very political and HR bullshitty, but like I'm not the first person that I've seen be where I am. I've seen so many people. So many people don't make it out of college, and because the programs
Yeah,
burn you
yeah.
out, and the professors all say, "Well, this is the way it's going to be out there in the real world too. So get used to it." And it's like, well, but why though? Why does it have to be that way? Why why can't we be accept maybe shows that are 20% less polished in exchange for having a life that's full? Why can't we do that? Why can't we accept that maybe tickets need to go up double in price because the people working on these shows deserve more than $1,100 for 10 straight days of work? Maybe, there's and the industry's so exploitative because they think that it's your passion and they think that therefore you should be willing to do everything for it.
Yep.
When I was in college, they wanted me to go to Williamstown Theater Festival, which is up in New York. And, and it's this supposed to be this great opportunity in networking. It's, a gateway to Broadway when you're a designer coming up through an undergrad program or even a grad program. And we talked to them and they were willing to give me a waiver for housing, because if they don't give you that waiver for housing, you pay them somewhere around $4,000 for a place to live while working for them for $0. That was their concession. We'll waive the housing so you can come out here and work for $0. Okay. How am I going to pay for my car insurance, cell phone, rent, back in Oklahoma where I live with $0 from you guys? And so I got into this huge fight with my academic advisor when I turned down the offer, and he was like, "You're throwing throwing your career away here. There's these Broadway designers work there. It's great networking." And I was like, "Fuck those designers. They know that they're working with a bunch of people that are working for nothing. They don't deserve my respect. They should be the ones making this effort for this to change. The only reason why this festival exists is because they pay nothing for labor, and that is absolutely obscene. I can go out this summer and design 4 shows and make enough money to live a very comfortable summer and live here next year and work 28 days out of this summer and still get to go to the beach, still to get to go on a road trip with my dad. Whereas if I go out there, I have to skip the last week of classes, go fucking out to New York, somehow get all my shit out there, somehow pay for all my shit back here, and make $0, and then fucking eat nothing but peanut butter while I'm there and nothing but peanut butter when I get back. Go fuck yourself." I'm honestly surprised that I graduated after that conversation. And I thought, this is the exception to the rule. This isn't the rule, but it really is the rule. It's become, and so Friday, I went out to a fish fry with my friend, and then we went back to his place, and we were sitting in the backyard. He also works in theater. Sitting in the backyard around the fire, smoking cigars, drinking some whiskey, just commiserating. And he opened up to me about how he's ready to also quit production, is what he wants to quit. He doesn't want to leave theater as an industry. He just wants to leave the production side of it that we work in. And I was, and he's basically saying my opinion back to me.
Yeah.
And we worked together a long time ago. We don't work together anymore. We work in very different environments, and yet here we both are. And I'm just tired of it. I've seen so many people burn out, and I thought, oh, that'll never happen to me. That'll never happen to me. Well, here I am. I finally hit this point, and Part of it is this injury that I had in September. You know, I tore through 3 ligaments in my right foot and I couldn't walk. And I essentially became useless as in my position now, which is the least physically demanding job that I've had. And it just really made me reflect on whether or not I wanted to, and I thought about some of my mentors and the people that I've worked for over the years that retired from theater at retirement age and were just, their bodies were broken.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love those people and I respect them immensely, but I don't want to end up like them. I don't want to end up a broken, miserable old man that is only doing this because this is all he's ever done. There's got to be something more. There's got to be something completely fulfilling, to quote Pippin. And I think that's the other funny thing is Pippin's the only show I've ever done twice, willingly. I've done one other show twice. Both times it was unwillingly. And, I really identified with the character of Pippin, and I really identified with his struggle, and I really identified with the songs, which is weird because I hate musicals.
Yeah.
But I felt like it hit me right in the right time when I did it at OU that spurred me to leave my job that I hated. And I feel like it hit me again, the great magnet out there to tell me that I've done a lot of great work. I've done a lot of really great shows. I've solved a lot of really incredible problems. I've worked with a lot of incredible people, but I'm really tired of theater defining me, and I'm really tired of theater defining every relationship in my life. I mean, Tim and I met because we were in theater classes together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ruckin and Tuckin and I met because we're in theater classes together. Most of the major relationships in my life are because of theater. Most of the women that I've dated have been involved in theater. The vast majority, I just can't get away from it. And so I don't know. When I was managing the union in Tulsa, I learned to never say never. So I won't say like I'm going to quit and I'm going to go I'm never going to come back. Because maybe there will be a day where I do come back, but I come back out of joy, and interest instead of it being just what I do every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be great. I would love for that to be the case.
You want to fall in love with it again.
Yeah, I do, and I just don't anymore. I just dread it. I dread the shows. I dread the people.
having been your buddy for a long time, hell is other people, man.
Hell is other people.
And far be it from me to tell you what you're thinking, but a lot of a lot of the problem is these other people.
Yeah. The issue is though, I moved 400 miles away and I'm facing the same people. Before that I moved 200 miles. So I think that these people are kind of baked into this industry, and I think it takes another big thing that I hate about theater is that I don't even really consider myself conservative anymore. I'm just firmly in the leave me the fuck alone camp.
Yeah.
But theater has this liberal presenting nature that is it's just presumed that everyone around you is liberal, and so we can talk and have opinions and be loud and obnoxious about things. And as a younger version of me would pick fights about that shit, which made my job difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten wiser and learned to pick my battles and just walk away from those conversations because there's nothing to gain and everything to lose. But it's just like, if you would have some fucking decorum, if you people could have some fucking decorum and talk about literally anything else, talk about whatever fucking bullshit reality TV show you're watching, talking about what fucking movie you just went and saw, or your video game, or a book you read, or fucking show me pictures of your dog. But can we just like not fucking talk about politics and religion because we have to deal with each other for 14 hours a day for 2 weeks? Can we do that, please? And so, like, there's that aspect.
No, I mean that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I you know, comparing it to my place where I personally deal with a lot of ex-TV guys. Completely different crowd.
Yeah.
Completely different crowd. You know what I mean? I mean, but in ex-TV production guys. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Theater does attract a certain type of brand of people.
Yeah. And I'm so the opposite of all those people.
Yeah.
But, you know, somehow ended up in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no regrets. Like I'm not like looking back on my life and just being like, I should have gone into business or something. Like I very much my personality is especially when I was younger, it was incapable of handling a different type of job. But now I've evolved and I've grown and I've learned and I've polished myself up a little bit more than I was, 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. And I don't know. I'm just ready. I'm ready for something else. I know that I can do anything that I want to do. I just have to get into a job interview where I can convince someone of that.
Yeah.
Like people look at the resume and they're like, "Oh, this guy has a fucking arts degree," and it's like, yeah, but it's a different kind of arts degree. Like what I am really, really, really extremely good at is solving problems very quickly in a very, roundabout way.
Yeah.
And that's a skill that can be applied to a lot of different industries. I just need someone to like take a risk on that. But who knows? Maybe I'll just fucking quit my job and become a bartender full time. It's the worst that could happen.
I mean, the worst that could happen is that the world starts getting good old fashioned served to them.
Well, that is true. Yeah. I don't know. It's El Chaco and I have talked about this. I've talked about this off and on for like the last few months. Every time we do an episode together, I was kind of hinting that I was ready for a change, back in September.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm open to new opportunities and new possibilities, and I would really a younger version of me would stick with it and try and change the industry, and fight it, fight the wave. But I'm also not that younger version of me anymore. I'm a person who's very protective of my free time. I'm very protective of boundaries, creating boundaries and expectations. And and I do kind of feel like if I quit, and this is I kind of knew when I quit the job in Tulsa and moved here, I knew that this was my last stop. I knew that I wasn't going to make it in the industry any further than this job. I kind of wanted to lie to myself and say that I would just stick with it and retire from this in 20 years and like have guided a new generation of technicians that are more suited for the world than I was. Obviously that's probably not going to happen. What is probably going to happen is in the next 6 to 18 months, I will find some job somewhere else and leave theater and never look back until a few years have passed and some friend or someone's like, hey, we have this show coming up, we need a lighting designer, would you be interested in doing it? And I'll be in a good mood and I'll say, yeah, why not? And I'll pop in and do a lighting design, or I'll come mix a show for someone, or I'll go mix some bands. I love mixing shows. if I had my druthers, I would get paid what I get paid to do this job I have now. But all I would do is show up, mix a show, and leave. No load in, no load out, no tech. Just mix.
That has to be an option, right?
Yeah, if I tour, but I don't want to tour. That's
Well, no. If you tour, if you tour, you're doing load-ins, load-outs.
yeah.
You need to be like Johnny on. You need to be like, what's the mysterious man from the mysterious stranger from New Vegas?
It's just the mysterious stranger. Yeah.
You are the mysterious stranger of like sound and lighting problems. Just like, oh my god, like someone needs to be able to break a glass, like hammer, break glass in case of emergency. Buzz, calls you, and it's like, hey, we need help. I'm in Detroit, Michigan, and I need your help. I'm on my way.
Yeah. So
book me a hotel.
that's the other problem of the job is like, even protective of my time, I'm still on call for things because too many people have my number. So, I got bothered on Saturday to be around on call to answer questions for this show. And it's like, well, technically my vacation started yesterday. So no. And I have plans tonight that are that don't involve being on my phone. And I didn't elaborate in the text message to my boss that I'm also saying no to this because regardless of what you tell them, my phone is going to be the first one to ring. So sure enough, I'm middle of a fucking glass demo and my phone goes off. Hey, what's the password for the iPad? And can I make the iPad see the cue list? It's 4 zeros, and yes, you can. Gotta go. Yeah, and it's just like, so I'll say no, but if I say yes, I'll definitely get called. If I say no, I'll still get called. That's the nature of the job, which is another thing that I kind of hate. And this is the best theater job I've ever had too. That's the crazy thing. It's like I think an older version of myself would just like bear through this miserable time that I'm having right now and hope for it to get better on the other side. But I'm also not that older version of myself. I'm like this perfect storm in the middle where I'm not going to just storm out and quit anymore. But I'm also not going to just accept that this is the way that it has to be, or hope that there's going to be a change in the future.
Yeah.
Because we have basically 3 major clients, and I hate 2 of them. One of whom never learns anything and makes the same mistakes. They hired a technical director. She did 1 show. I took 1 look at her resume, and it was very obvious she was not a technical director. But she was extremely competent. She had schedules. She showed up when she was said she was going to. They finished early. They did all the things they were going to do. It was the best run this group has ever been run. And the managing director of this group was pissed off because she doesn't want to build shows. She wants to be a production manager. And so I don't know if she was fired or quit or what, but I got an email the other day that she was leaving. They have 2 shows starting in May. They have 1 that's coming up now very soon, and then they have 2 shows in my theater in May. So those are going to be fucking miserable. And I was just like, so hire a technical director. You got what you got. You got a girl straight out of college with 0 experience because you're paying $40,000 a year for a technical director job, and you have a list of responsibilities the length of my arm on your website. Yeah. You are never going to get a person that can do all those things for $40,000 a year. I know because I can do all those things, and I would not fucking work for $40,000 a year. But what you do have is someone who can do a lot of those things and does them really well. So just pay her $40,000 a year, and then pay $40,000 a year for someone else who can do the other things on that list. And then you have a fucking company that'll work. But no, they got to get rid of her and hire some new dipshit. And so I sent her a text message privately, and I was just like, I just want to let you know that in the time that I've been here and the time that I've worked with this company, you are the most competent person that I have worked with from there. And you really deserve a lot better working conditions than working with those people. So good luck on working freelance and stuff. And she sent me a very nice compliment back, which I appreciated. And so, yeah, there's that one. There's the one with the sync designer that's trying to get me fired at every fucking turn. And then there's this third one that has this just fucking rotating door of management. So, and they never like pass on information to the next group. So it's just like the same start from zero at the start of every season. And it's just like, oh, okay. But they're nice. So you can deal with them,
Yeah.
It's like, last year we did this and it worked pretty well, so we're thinking you should do that. And they're like, well, we were thinking we could do this. Yeah, we did that 2 years ago. It didn't work that well, but it's your show. And then they're like, this isn't working very well. Yeah, well, if only someone had listened to us instead of their own thing. Be sure to pass this on the next time you guys rotate out people. And yeah, so it just becomes, when I was working at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, it was a lot of the same problems over and over and again, but it was different people each time, and they were professional and they listened. So when I said, actually this works better this way, we found, they would say, oh, it does, then let's do it that way. Unless there was some reason why they absolutely couldn't do it that way, and then it was usually a conversation of, no, we actually have to do this. Let's work around, and we collaborate and solve a problem. Which I never thought I'd miss those fucking conversations. It's crazy. It's crazy how life comes at you fast. I would really love to go sit down with my 16-year-old self and talk to him about what he wants out of this career and what he's going to get and whether or not it's worth it, because I think it has been worth it. I've gotten to live all my dreams. How many people get to say that,
Except for that one weird one with Spock.
Well, that one just came true, Tim. So anyway, that's my issue. Theater is a big one. It's a long one, but I don't know. This is like, I think, the best platform for getting that off my chest. Now I get to go like out into the ether and find my next destiny.
Well, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Like I was saying, it's the whole mysterious stranger thing. If you could get that to work, man, sounds like that would be
That'd be cool.
You're like it's like an equalizer.
Yeah.
The equalizer, but you're the EQalizer. Yeah.
That's a good one. So anyway, well, I guess that is it for this episode of Here's What I Don't Get. I have been Tab Burt.
I'm Tim the Handlebreaker.
We'll catch you guys next week.
See ya.
If you want to call in the Here's What I Don't Get hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. Or you can leave us a voicemail in the Discord under voicemail upload. Here's one from the voicemail hotline.
Here's what I don't get. In the classic 1984 crime thriller docudrama, My Little Pony, Rescue at Midnight Castle, a centaur demon is kidnapping ponies to pull his chariot of darkness. Once acquired, he turns his ponies into dragons with his rainbow of darkness. One of the ponies avoids capture. It is a flying pony. The flying pony abducts a 12-year-old human girl to use in rescuing the dragon ponies from the centaur demon. What I don't get is, the ponies talk! Who ever heard of a talking horse? That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen! They don't even have the vocal cords to do Dad. That's not how equine work.
I wonder if like the original Mr. Ed voicemails were all in service to eventually this punchline.
Yeah.
Not understanding why the ponies and My Little Pony can talk.
Yeah.
What's up, Tab? What's up, Tim? Chaco, if you show up, how are you? This is Matt from Minnesota. Just wanted to leave a quick voicemail. You guys are live right now, but I'm at work, so I can't really sit and watch. Yeah, sounds like a network. Just wanted to drop a quick jump get, and that is near 60-degree temperature swing. Fucking Minnesota was almost 60 degrees Monday and dropped down to 5 at night within about 24 hours. So fuck that. That sucks. Glad to see you back. I know it's just probably a rare once in a blue moon occurrence. I'd like to think I inspired it. So I'm going to take credit for that. So everyone else can say thank you. All right. You guys have a good show, and I'll hear this later. Peace.
Yeah, it was 85 yesterday.
Yep,
I spent
yep.
most of the afternoon sitting on my front porch reading.
Yeah.
In shorts and a t-shirt, and not like in like gym shorts, because I initially sat out there wearing the jeans I was wearing, and I started getting sweaty real quick, and I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. And then right now I am sitting underneath a heated blanket
Today has been in the high
down
30s.
in my basement because it's like 30. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand how those two fucking weather systems fit together.
Especially in February.
Yeah, the cold I would get. The 80
Yeah.
yesterday was the weird shit.
And it had been building to that the last week and a half or so.
Yeah, it was like cruising up slow.
Here's what I don't get. When is Kingslayer going to release his episode of Here's What I Don't Get that is better than my episode of Here's What I Don't Get? It must be an amazing episode, seeing as he's been working on it for over 6 months. I can't wait to bask in the glory of this amazing episode of Here's What I Don't Get.
ABC, always be calling them people out. Here's another one. I thought for sure we'd get a Didhelm one. I don't know if this is one or not.
Yeah, what I don't get is me forgetting every single fucking don't get after you, like, you know, stop the podcast, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's another fucking random ass, here's what I don't get episode. I mean, I love it, and it's great, but I swear I had like 5 solid do not gets that were original, and they were probably not original, but it's all good, and anyways, I'm just glad to hear from you every once in a while. Tony and everybody, and, you know, Tab, and the other people. Anyways, it's Tony's here. Faggot.
Yeah, Buck has some like recurring commitment on Wednesdays. Chaco lost electricity 2 hours before we were supposed to go live. And then he was going to do it on his cell phone service, but like 5 minutes after we went live, his cell phone service also went down.
Yeah.
Tony was like, I'm driving back from Boston on Monday, and I was like, well, we're not going to do it on Monday, and then he never responded to me again, probably because I've been telling him what a fat piece of shit he is, which you should also do. Help inspire him. If you ever, this is what I do whenever I have a Discord that is just my own, just only me.
Mm-hmm.
And I go log into it and I send notes to myself for stuff. So like I sent a link to some glass color that a friend of mine liked so that I could make her something. I sent myself a poem because I was thinking about that poem. I've been tracking what the daily challenges are in Aliens Fireteam Elite so that I can figure out if there's a pattern to them. There doesn't seem to be. They just seem to have like a dozen different things and they combine them
rotate
randomly. Yeah. Notes about shows, but I also will put my don't gets in there sometimes. Or you can just call and leave a voicemail, and then the next time we record, we'll play it. You know, the voicemail line's always open.
Oh shit, I forgot. Quick update. Tab, Tim, mostly Tim. Tab, you don't really care about the Weird Al stuff anymore. Tim, I recently visited, as you know, the largest ball of twine in Minnesota,
Yeah,
built by
yeah.
one man, and showed my mother-in-law photos of me and my wife going to do that, and she informed me that she is in fact directly related to the man who built the world's largest ball of twine. So I am now married into the twine ball royal family.
Nice.
Stuck on that. Nerd.
That's American royalty right there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm still salty about that fucking Weird Al concert we went to. Was that June? It was like right before I moved here.
It was.
Uh,
That was basically like our going away party.
yeah, more or less. All right, one last one.
Here's what I don't get. Driving west in the late afternoon,
Oh,
or driving east in the early morning. Yeah. I used to work overnights, and I worked 30 minutes west of where I live. So, on the way to work, I was driving directly into the sun.
Yeah.
On the way home from work, I was driving directly into the sun. Now I work 30 minutes east of where I live. And I work days. So going to work, I drive directly into the sun. Coming home from work, I drive directly into the sun. I have no eyeballs.
Speaking of eyeballs, last week or the week before last, I went to the eye doctor. I've been having problems with getting my eyes to focus. I've read, I think I'm up to 26 or 27 books so far this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I've been using my eyes a lot more than I have in the past, right? And because I read like 45 books in 2023.
What are you reading on? What are you reading on?
I am reading physical books right now because so in 2016, I think it was 2016 or 2017, Simon and Schuster put up all of the Star Trek books up to that point out DRM free. So they immediately got fucking stolen and put out as a torrent. 700 plus Star Trek books. I downloaded that shit right away. I think Simon and Schuster might have put the torrent up now that I'm thinking about it.
Probably. I mean, if they're DRM free, the torrent would just be an easy way to get them all.
Yeah. So I downloaded them years ago. And in 2017, 2018, I started with this Destiny trilogy, which was set like a few years after, or like a year and a half, 2 years after Star Trek Nemesis. And it combined together, Will Riker commanding the Titan and Picard has the Enterprise, Worf is his first officer.
Nice.
Dax is command of a ship, the Aventine, and some like secondary characters we've seen throughout the series are with her.
Mm-hmm.
Kira Nerys is commanding Deep Space Nine, and like the stuff all going on with those, and it was good. And so then I finished that, and I started to go deeper into the chronology, and I was like, well, hold on, I got to figure out how Dax became captain of this ship, and how Worf became first officer of the Enterprise, and like what all this shit is going on. So I went back and I kind of went to the end of Deep Space Nine and Nemesis and started reading my way forward again. And I reread Destiny last year, and then I've been reading my way past Destiny. And I got to a point where I ran out of ebooks. There were like ebooks there were books that came out after this torrent had existed that were not torrentable yet. And so I bought like 22 something Star Trek books so that I could go to the end of the chronology more or less. And I have just started yesterday on the porch, 85 degrees, started the last book in the chronology before they actually released a trilogy to delete all of the book universe, because it was 15 years of book universe of like interwoven narratives that kind of kept a central continuity going. And then when the Star Trek Picard came out, they're like, oh, that actually changes the chronology of the series post Nemesis. So we need to make all of these books non-canon. So they released this trilogy where they essentially destroyed the universe of all these books because fuck me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read those, but I am going to read this last Collateral Damage book. And anyway, so I was reading physical books and I was having a hard time focusing in the dark. And I was like, something's wrong with my eyes. So I went to the eye doctor, and he like fucking shines all the lights and does all this shit to me. And then he's like, yeah, you need reading glasses. Like, you can read without reading glasses, but I bet if I give you these glasses, this becomes a lot easier. And he puts those stupid things, you know, they put the just pure round lenses in, and it's like this fucking monster thing they put on your face. Puts that thing on my face, and I was like, immediately the stress inside my eyeballs completely disappeared.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I did not realize how much tension was in my eyes just with them trying to fight past whatever fucking farsightedness I have. And he's like, yeah. So I'm going to give you a really low prescription for reading glasses. We'll get you set up. They haven't arrived yet. I'm now almost out of physical books to read, but fucking 32 years old being prescribed reading glasses, 27 when I started going gray. So, you know, I've always been meant to be an old man.
Maybe by the end of your 30s, you'll have a cane.
Yeah, I mean, I had a cane in my teens when I hurt my knee.
Well, you know what I mean.
I probably will have a cane. I'll probably fuck myself up one last time before I get out of this.
No, what I meant is that you'll
industry.
have like a diamond-topped, ruby-studded pimp cane. You'll have gone into pimpery.
Oh, I could go into pimpery, yeah. Pimp has been around since the world started turning, and it's going to keep on turning right around with it till the Earth tumbles off its axis as a
result of its molten core
molten
overheating.
core bursts into cosmic dust. I haven't watched Black Dynamite in a long time. I should watch that again.
It's a good movie.
Should watch it every day for a year and see if it stops being funny.
No. It won't.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of Here's What I Don't Get. I don't know when we will be back. Probably sometime.
I will say, so I haven't planned it out on my work schedule, but mid-June, I will be coming back up in the area.
Cool. Maybe I'll have a new job.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I did say next week before the outro, it was total muscle memory. We also didn't do a fake ad at the top of the show, so, you know, we're not in our best form.
Whatever.
But anyway, yeah, we'll be back again at some point in the future. Look forward to seeing all of you. Feel free to leave your voicemails. You can shoot so Matt from Minnesota sent me some pictures of him seeing the biggest ball of twine that I forwarded on to Tim. Like, I still, not actively, I passively monitor the voicemail hotline. So when I said earlier, just DM me. You can message me on Discord. You can shoot me a message, a text message on that 704-750-9434. Leave us a voicemail. I won't listen to the voicemails before we go live, but yeah. Thanks for continuing to hold the show in high esteem. It really means a lot. It means that the show was worth it for all those years, and I hope it continues to be worth it. So until we are back again, see you next time. Oh, that's the wrong button. I almost hit leave studio instead of end